are many cities that claim to be built on 7 hills. Rome is of course the original, but a trawl through Wikipedia reveals nearly 90 others lay claim to this title. Few, however, are as beautiful as Lisbon, Portugal. Upon its gentle slopes lie some of the most beautiful locations in Europe. Combine this with the majestic sweep of the Tagus River, throw in the beautiful clear Atlantic light, and it all adds up to being one of the world's most photogenic cities. In this video, we're going to introduce you to some of the great Lisbon locations that you can visit as a photographer. Lisbon is an easy city to get to from most parts of the world. Portugal's connections with South America and Africa provide ample connections. As a major European destination, it's well served by budget airlines from all over Europe. The airport is a mere 8 kilometers from the centre and has plenty of transport links. Getting around the city is cheap and easy. There is an extensive public transport system comprising of metro, buses and trams. Taxis are cheap and plentiful, and Uber are reliable and good value. There are also Lime and Uber electric bikes and scooters. Timing your photographic trip is a matter of personal preference. Summers are hot and humid and the city can feel crowded. Winter can be cold, but the light is spectacular. Spring sees the blooming jacaranda trees with cooler, much more comfortable weather. Autumn can be cool and quiet, but there's an increased risk of the big Atlantic storms bringing rain and wind to the city. However, at most times of the year, the light is spectacular. So let's take a look at some of the most photographic locations, and we'll start with Alfama. The tight, steep streets of Alfama are a photographer's playground. One of the oldest parts of the city, sitting to the east of the centre, it's a labyrinth of narrow alleyways and beautiful buildings, occasionally broken up by delightful little squares. Being the closest district to the cruise port, it can be hellishly busy during the day. However, get up early and you will be rewarded with deserted streets and ample photographic opportunities. Alternatively, go at night. The area is particularly photogenic for evening and night shots. On a hill just to the west of centre lies Barrio Alto. Once a rundown poor area of the city, it is now a vibrant, busy tourist hub. One of the highlights, however, is the Calçada São Francisco. This winding narrow street is the best place in Lisbon to shoot the iconic old trams. Go early, around dawn, and the streets will be deserted with little traffic. Shooting from the top of the street looking down is the best option, the dawn light softening the shadows as the trams hurtle up the street. You can use Google Maps transport layer to see when trams are due. Elsewhere, Praça Luís de Camões is the centre of Barrio Alto and makes a good starting point for photographic forays into its narrow cobblestone streets. Sitting on lowland between the hills of Alfama and Barrio Alto is the centre of Lisbon. There are many photographic opportunities here, running from the vast sweeping square of Praça do Comércio all the way up to the smaller but equally photogenic Praça Dom Pedro. In the northwest corner of Centro is another of Lisbon's quirky photographic opportunities, the Elavador Gloria. Despite its name, it's kind of a hybrid funicular tram that winds its way up a steep incline to the Barrio Alto. Its bright colours and graffiti make it an interesting shoot in the light of a golden hour. One of Lisbon's most iconic structures, and a must-visit on any photographic trip, is the Ponte 25 de Abril, otherwise known as the Tagus River Bridge. Strikingly similar to San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge, there are several locations from which you can shoot it. One of the best is from Alcantara, the marina area right underneath the bridge. Here you can shoot the bridge from both the east and west side of the span. It can look equally impressive during the morning or evening light. Being so close at Alcantara, you can exaggerate its beautiful span with a wide-angled lens. On the opposite side of the bridge lies the majestic Cristo Rey, Lisbon's very own statue of Christ. Heading further west along the Tagus, you get to the beautiful suburb of Belem. Here you will find the mighty monument to the navigators, a nod to Portugal's history of exploration. Also there is the pretty Belem Tower, jutting out into the Tagus River. Like the bridge, both can be shot at dawn or dusk, their position on the northern banks of the Tagus River making them ideally suited for both. Just back from the river is the magnificently Gothic Geronimos Monastery. This beautifully ornate building is best shot early in the morning. From around 8 AM the tourists start to arrive, making good shots very tricky. This is also another great location to capture one of the old trams as they trundle past the monastery. There is very little modern architecture in the centre of Lisbon, but this does not mean it's not great for evening and night photography. As well as the Tagus Bridge and the monuments at Belem, the city centre is well lit and can make for some great blue hour shots. There are two locations that are ideal for blue hour cityscapes. The first is Castello de São Jorge in Alfama. Here you can shoot through sunset with the city, its hills, the river and the Tagus Bridge all beautifully laid out before you. You need to pay around €12 to access the castle, but it's money well spent, with several places to capture sweeping vistas over the city. The second location is atop the famous Elevador Santa Justa. Unlike the Elavador Gloria, this really is an elevator. It lifts people from the ground at Centro all the way to the lofty heights of Barrio Alto. More importantly though, on top of the elevator is a viewing platform. Unlike the Castello São Jorge, which looks west, the Santa Justa viewpoint looks east over the city towards the Alfama district. It's a great location for the evening golden hour as the last rays of the sun bring out the beauty of the pastel coloured houses on the hills of Alfama. Heading into the blue hour, the streets of the city and the castle light up, creating a quite magical scene. Although you can use a tripod at the Santa Justa viewpoint, be prepared for it to be kicked. It can get very busy up there, especially on a beautiful evening. The price of €3 however is well worth it. Lisbon is an old and endlessly beautiful city, steeped in hills and history. And with beautiful clear light, it is a photographer's playground. A place that will fuel your creativity with its endless possibilities. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and even better, a subscription. If you want to stay up to date when we publish new videos, ring the notifications bell. See you all again soon.